Hello, everyone. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. I want to talk briefly today about seasons. Think about this rope I'm holding up in front of me. And for those who are listening to the podcast and not watching the video, I have a rope in front of me, and there's a lot of little markers on this rope. And the space between each of these markers, let's just say it represents like a season in our life, right? So there's some times when life is going okay. There's not much to complain about, and we're doing okay, Don't mean we're not going through something, but we can see our way through, and, we're doing okay. Then there's some times in life, and again, for those who are listening to the podcast, now between two of these black sections on this rope, I've painted it red. This is a section in life, or season in life, I should say, when things are pretty tough. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when you're going through these moments, it just seems like it's going to last forever, right? My goodness, this can represent just about anything. It could represent financial issues. It can represent health issues, or, maybe a relationship ended really badly, or I don't know, just anything unexpected happened that was, in some ways, I don't want to say a tragedy, but I guess it could be a tragedy, but just any bad situation that happened that, you had to really work your way through. So, but then you get through it, and life just sort of continues to go on. There's a passage in 2 Peter 3:8 that says, with the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. So I always like to reference that sometimes when I'm, feeling like I'm going through things in life and just realizing how short life really is. Here's another little section in my rope for those who are watching. Sometimes you do get a major crisis that pops up, but you know what? It ended pretty quickly. It came pretty quickly, and it ended pretty quickly. Now, what this podcast is about, and as you can see, I'm still kind of scrolling through this rope, and these again, these are all the different seasons that we go through in life where things seem to be going okay. But check this out. Uh-oh. Look at this. This is a section in life where I believe many people are at right now. And God knows that I've been going through myself. So I'm speaking from personal experience. For those who are just listening to the podcast, I have a very long section of this rope that is in red. And this is going to represent long, let's just say long suffering, or a very, very long, tough season. A long, tough season that you go through in life where, oh my goodness, many of you know some of the things that I'm going through with one of my children. My goodness, getting a transplant, and all the ups and downs. We've been dealing with that for many, 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 many years, many, many years. And nothing hurts a mother more than to see her child screaming out in pain and suffering for many, many, many years. And but this season could be anything. This season could be things that you're going through. It could be financial things you're going through. Perhaps you've lost your job, or I don't know, going through a difficult divorce. I don't know. It could be anything. Unexpected death in the family or something. But this to me represents that time when you're like, Lord, I don't see how I'm going to get through this. Gosh, it seems like it's been happening for so long. Am I ever going to get out of this season? Am I ever going to sort of get a break from this? Now, check this out. Sometimes, by the grace of God, as you find yourself at the end of that little section, because each of these sections is a season, so remember this. So sometimes, and maybe I'm only speaking from personal experience, when you find yourself at the end of that, and you think you can see your way out of it, look at this. Sometimes there's another season back to back that's red. Now, for those who are listening to the podcast, I now in the very next section of this rope have another red section. So came out of one season and went right into another. This message today is for the people that are in this section. This message is for the people that's been praying for a long time about things, and perhaps it seems unchanged, or people that really, to be honest with you, when God put it in my heart to talk about this, he put in my spirit, Z, there's so many people at the end of their rope that feel like giving up. And I need for you to give them a message of hope. And I need for you to remind them, as I have reminded you, that it's not always going to look like this. It's not always going to look like this. This is just a season. Now, sometimes it's a season back to back. Sometimes it's absolutely long suffering, but it is just a season. And I pray that whoever's watching this, that no matter what it is that you're going through, I want to encourage you to not give up. And I pray that you understand that the enemy wants you to focus right here. The enemy wants you to make the mistake of defining your entire life right here. The enemy wants to fog your vision and make you forget about all this. You see that? The enemy don't want you to remember any of that. He wants to define your life right here. And he wants to give you like this tunnel vision so that all you see is just this long piece of this red rope right here. This message is for you. This message is I'm praying that it opens your eyes a little bit to help you to see that you see this, but God sees this. Now, for those who are listening to the podcast, I'm holding up a very, very, very long rope that's all tangled up. And maybe here and there it's got a tiny little red section in it here and there through the rope. But I'm holding up what I'll say is the rest of our lives. I guess I can say that. Yeah, kind of represents the rest. There's more. My mother used to teach me, baby, joy cometh in the morning. It's not always going to be this. Satan wants you to focus right here. This is where he wants you to live. This is where he wants you to give up, because he doesn't want you to see that there's more that comes after that. He don't want you to see that light. And yeah, I can't sit here and lie and say you won't ever have any more difficult days. The Bible actually tells us that we will. The Bible tells us we're going to have some difficult times. But that's called living. What I want to encourage you is, if you are here in this all red section, know that God is carrying you, even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when it doesn't feel like it, he's carrying you. There's a passage in Romans 12:12. First of all, even before I go to Romans 12:12, I'm going to read one of my favorite passages. I've quoted this so many times, you guys probably remember it already. Philippians 4, where's my glasses? I can't hardly see anything without them. Philippians 4:6, I've quoted so many times because I'm trying to just ingrain it into your spirits. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. So what that means for me, and I've said this before, I don't care that I get to say it again. You may say, Z, you said this in your other video clip. So what? I'm going to say it again. What that means is, you mean telling me right now when I'm in this stage, when I'm in this red stage right here, when I've got a child suffering, or for some of you, you may say when I've got major financial woes, or when I don't have a place to live, or when this relationship has gone south and I don't know how I'm going to make it, or when I've just been diagnosed with this health condition, or when I feel so lonely, or, just full of anxiety, or whatever it is. What this passage helps me to see is when I am here, and again, the enemy wants me to just focus on this part and define my whole life by the way. The Bible is teaching me, according to Philippians 4:6, what does it say? Do not be anxious about anything. And what does it say? In everything, with thanksgiving, with prayer and petition, present your request to God. And then what happens? And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. That's letting me know that I shouldn't even have peace right now. But for some reason, I feel some peace in me. I'm in the middle of two bad cycles back to back. Look at that. And I shouldn't have joy. But the peace of God, which transcends, and to me that means it supersedes, it's going to overpower, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. So that means to me, in the middle of me going through a very difficult challenge, I'm on a podcast speaking to people to encourage others. That means you, with what you're going through right now, and I know I'm not by myself, you have the audacity to still serve other people when you hear. You have the audacity to still give. That's that peace of God which transcends all understanding. You don't even look like what you're going through right now. Now, some of you may say, well, Z, I'm going through a very difficult time right now. And I'm not serving and giving to other people because I feel like I'm at my wit's end and I just feel like giving up. And I've heard some people in the comment section say that. So what that passage, and I'm praying that it means for you, is God's got me. Only God can give me this peace that I'm going to need. And I'm praying that that soothes your spirit and that you realize, again, we're looking here. And now I'm holding up this rope, with all of these beautiful colors in it. Just a little bit of red here and there, but even still. And God sees this. Now there's a passage, what was I trying to turn to? I think it was Romans 12:12, was it? Let me see. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, what is it? Acts. Is Romans before or after Corinthians? I should know that. 1st, 2nd Corinthians, and I think it goes to Romans. Okay. So Romans 12, let me get my glasses on. I'm sorry, you guys. Romans 12:12 teaches us, be joyful in hope. Okay, that's kind of hard to do, but okay. Patient in affliction. My God. And faithful in prayer. I'm going to say that again. Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Those are the kind of passages that I have to concentrate on to get my mind and my spirit right when I'm here. That's what I have to think about when I'm here. So this isn't going to be a long video post or a long podcast, I guess I should say. You guys know my last couple of videos I've been talking about some of my prayers to God, and I've been saying, God, teach me how to live. And I don't mean like, oh, I don't want to live anymore, this or that. No. I mean that I spend so much of my time helping other people and giving and serving. There's nothing wrong with giving and serving. I want to make that clear. But so focus on meeting needs of others and dealing with their issues and what have you, or dealing with some pains that other people are going through that are very close to me. Sometimes I forget that there's life. Sometimes I have to pray to God and say, Lord, teach me how to live. Meaning, even when I'm in this stage right here, teach me how to have the joys in life. That's why I love, and I'm not going to throw too many passages at you guys, but this is why I'm so in love with the book of Ecclesiastes. If you don't read anything else, read the book of Ecclesiastes. Many people believe it was written by Solomon, which Solomon was David's son, right? Yeah, Solomon was David's son. And Solomon acquired so much wealth. I think he was one of the wealthiest people to ever live. But what I love about Ecclesiastes, I think is in chapter 2, and it goes down to verse 24. He says, I'm going to back it up a little bit. I'm going to start in verse 22. He says, what does a man get for all the toil and anxious striving with which he labors under the sun? All his days his work is pain and grief. Even at night his mind does not rest. This too is meaningless. A man can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in his work. And then he just goes on to say, this too I see is from the hand of God. What I love about Solomon is he achieved and acquired every single thing that his eyes desired. He had vineyards, and I talked about this in some other previous episodes, but I know we have a lot of newer people that's just joined us, and so you're going to have to go back and listen to those episodes. But Solomon, the Bible says he denied himself nothing his eyes desired. And at the end of his life, or as it was coming toward the end of his life, he realized that really everything was meaningless or chasing after the wind. And his whole point is all these things we're anxiously striving for and worrying about and this and that, we can't take any of it with us. Now, that doesn't mean we still don't have our moments. Don't get me wrong. But it kind of helps give me this healthy way of looking at life that, my goodness, 99% of the things that I stress or worry about or that keeps me up at night or I'm concerned about, 99% of that really at the end of the day, really it's not going to matter all that much The only part that really, really matters to me is making sure that I'm right with God, and I do my very best to set the example for others and bring as many to Christ as possible. That for me is the most important thing. So anyway, this message, let me kind of go back to what I was saying. This message is for those people who are right here. Please don't give up. I know it's been long suffering. And even though I don't know your personal situation, I've seen some of the messages that people have sent in. I've read them. And I know some people are going through some really, really, really tough times. I strongly, strongly, strongly want to encourage you, if you feel the need to get a professional counselor, to get some professional help, please, please, please do that. Because I'm not a professional counselor or anything like that. I'm just a woman that loves God, and I'm doing my best to inspire and encourage people. But I just want to just give you sort of a visual to take a look at and just realize that it's just a season. You've had some good times. You've had some better days. And if you just hang on and hold on to God's unchanging hands, you're going to see that there's better days ahead. And God's going to get you through this. So please don't ever define your life by your current circumstances. I want you to say to yourself, you know what, this is tough, but God's got me. He's going to get me through this. And I'm just going through a season right now. And just like some of these other seasons, I got through them. And God's going to pull me through this one as well. So I love you all. I pray that this short message made sense. And please share this with others to encourage them. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. This is Z again. Do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Bye-bye.